Welcome to In the Box Seat, a slightly different version this week, a bit of a Q&A with Max Whitby, who is a member here at the Gold Coast Turf Club, but he's obviously been on an unforgettable trip with the Winter Carnival and Cool Archie, culminating with the JJ Atkins win. Great to chat to Max in this sort of current sort of lounge room setting, the Director's Lounge. You've been here a few times.
Happy to be here, Mitch, and I want to be in here more often.
Yes.
It's a winner's room, and it's not a bad winner's room either.
Lead Me On.
Lead Me On won the debutante 2 years ago.
Yep.
It's been a bit quiet since, but races are back first up this week.
Yep.
Yeah, up at Caloundra.
And saying off air, it might be a sneaky chance.
I think it's a very good chance. Yeah. Very good price.
Take us through Cool Archie and the ride. Sort of, I guess, let's go back to the start. A $100,000 purchase across the road at the Magic Million Sale.
Yeah, I love selling early, so I know what I got to spend, so to speak. I didn't really have any aspirations to do much more, and I was just walking down towards North's tent, and behind them is the Kelly boys. Kelly in name and Kelly by nature, that's another story. And they went, you have a look at this Cool as a Beal. And I had a pocket full, so I said, I'll poke over to have a look. And then in comes Muncie down it's almost set up, and said, okay, you interested? Yeah, I'm trying to start to build a few up. And in we went and paid 100. And it was funny because my PA was saying to me, who are you going to syndicate with you? I said, well, I don't know, we're going all right, just don't worry about it. And then we moved all our other horses around, all my mates and blokes I raced with, and etc. And he was still there at the end when he broke it in, and I said, I'll just keep going. So I kept 100%, because normally I'd do, I halve them up, quarter them up, and do that sort of thing. And next thing I own a bloody good horse at 100%. It's all mine. So 100,000, 100% ownership. So very happy.
Anything about the stallion Cool as a Beal? A $16,500 service fee at New Haven Park he stands for, so he's relatively cheap stallion.
Mitch, there's a lot on the tom-tom about him. Everyone's saying they're good types, etc., etc. And I can't say I went specifically, as I said, looking for him, but I stumbled into him and away we went. But of course, as soon as you take me back to Savabeel, who I owned and raced, of course, Cool as a Beal is the son, and Cool Archie, 3 generations back to Savabeel. Of course, was really put me on the map in my racing days, and so it was all good. And then of course, Chris Muntz rode Savabeel for me. Now he's my trainer. So it's just nice.
Great synergy.
And Corey's there now, and it's just we've been mates since Dot and Chris and I, and it's just great to be involved.
Sort of looking at the pedigree page, nothing, like the Dam had produced a few winners, but nothing compares to Cool Archie, but he is something out of the box too.
You could say I had my nose in Vegas Showgirl. She didn't show much either. So that's another story. That's another story. Moving on. So sometimes pages don't mean much, They do when they're on and they've run Group 1s, and they run 5 in a row, like this bloke's won 5 in a row. As a 2-year-old, on 2 types of conditions, I can't ask more than that. And from 1,000 to a mile, when he ran the 1,400, he ran like he was going to run a mile after that. He ran through the mole and he ran 2,000. And I went out and saw him yesterday. He looks like he's going around tomorrow. We
had Chris on in the box seat prior to his maiden win. He was extremely happy with how he did. In fact, he said, like, if he draws a gate in the Magic Millions, he finishes closer, but he was drawn off the track. He still ran a creditable race.
Yes, time's all right.
But how he'd spelled and he'd had a sort of good, but not a tough preparation when last in work, that you had plenty left in the tank for a long-range Winter Carnival. And it's easy. Five runs is a big effort for a 2-year-old in not only one season, but in one preparation.
Yeah, and heavy 10s. And we drew outside, we drew wide gates every time. I think we drew one inside 5 once. So it's a lot of ticks and ticks.
There's a big case growing for the horse, and we're obviously going to be biased to a Queenslander, but has a 2-year-old done anything like he has done in a season, apart from years gone by of 2-year-olds winning Triple Crowns? Well, there's been 3 different Group 1 winners through the 2-year-old season. I don't think he's done, more than what anything else in Sydney could have achieved.
Well, I've got my form guys crawling all over it. Obviously, I'd like to, for the stud prospects going forward, I'd like to, get him a 2-year-old of the year. And I think you put him up against the best, slipper winner. individual Group 1s. No one's done more than our bloke's got black tie plus Group 1s, plus the conditions and the distances. So I don't know. It speaks for itself as far as I'm concerned. And I know how the Southerners think.
Yeah.
But we'll just see how they go on the 31st of August.
Funny you say that, Max. He wasn't spoken about, and then next thing, a few people go, well, hold on a minute. He's won a Group 1. He's won 2 Group 2s. He went through a 2-year-old season unbeaten. He was close up in a Magic Millions. Next thing now he's
on the radar.
Yeah, the drums are beating that.
Yeah.
He should be 2-year-old horse of the year.
Look, I'm talking the book, but that's the way you've got to do it.
Yeah.
Because as I said, I think the bias down south, they'll find some reason to find another reason that this bloke can't win, and I hope it's not because he's a Queenslander.
Yeah.
The awards are in Queensland this year, so maybe that might be a good omen for us too. We'll see.
So you win the sires on the bottomless track. Chris was still extremely confident going to the JJ Atkins, and you were able to achieve Group 1 success with him. He was just as brilliant on the heavy track as what he was on the good track, but I think we saw something really special on JJ Atkins' day. Also for Queensland as well. It's big to have we've got an Antino now, and we've got a Cool Archie. We've got Group 1 horses that are going to represent us in the southern states as well.
Sure. I think, Chris is quite conservative, believe it or not, and we're very thick. We've been mates for, 30 years, I suppose, something like that. And he's a casino boy. I'm the Northern Rivers, so there's that little synergy as well. But the bottom line is that I think the real confidence came from the jockey.
Yeah. So
The
Martin's
Irishman.
had 8 rides for 5 wins. The horses had 9 race starts.
That's right. And people going, after the sires, they go, oh, Macca will ride it, and Huey will come down from Hong Kong for you. And I'm going, hey, I'm a sticker.
Yeah.
And obviously I was not big snowden, but I said I want to stick, and we stuck,
And he loves the horse, doesn't he?
I've never honestly, I've been at it 40 odd years. I've never seen the synergy. It's almost glued to him.
Yeah.
And he just knows that he just loves the guy, and he reacts to him, and I just a pleasure to have him on.
Yeah.
So he rode 5 Group 1s in Europe,
Yep.
4 in the UK and 1 in France or something, and that was his first one in Australia. He was as happy, as elated, you know. It's funny that after that second last rain in that heavy 10 bog, and he come back and it was raining like hell, And I said, I said to my PA, I said, send him up a new set of silks. And he, don't send up. Oh, keep on.
Superstitious Irish, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So I got the South strippers, and basically, I'm changing nothing. I'm not changing nothing. I got in a bit of a pattern too, Went and got the same bottle of Plonk and another bottle of champagne in case we won.
And great for Martin as well, because we've had him on the show. He's been through hell and back with his broken neck injury, and
they're tough little roosters.
Yeah.
And he's as tough as you can get, this bloke. Yeah. We caught up with him in London the other night too, and had another dinner, and a bit of a refresh, and thinking about where we are. And we're still, all 3 of us are saying we don't know what his distance is going to be.
So he's spelling at the moment.
Spelling is to have a good rest. He can tell us when he's ready to come back. I just took my grandson out, Archie, my grandson, and the other.
So named after
my youngest grandson. Yeah, Archie. And took one of the trophies out, and because I got a lot of trophies, and a sash. It was nice, and did a photo shoot with him, and he just looked a beautiful, docile colt.
Has Archie been pulling on Pop's tail and say,
yeah, is it quid in it? He's heard me say
there's big stallion fees coming up.
There's
big
an
service
urn.
fees.
Yeah, he hasn't got that part. I think he's got. I think his brothers might have told him what it's all about, but he hasn't got it. But he said, "Is it quid in this for me?" Is that what I say? Pay quid. I said, "Yeah." There's a quid for you. I'll buy you lunch. Yeah.
Obviously, after winning the JJ Atkins, he's a Group 1 winning colt. Next thing, the phone starts ringing. Well, actually, we'll go to that part in a minute.
Right.
After he won the JJ Atkins, there's a great story of you and Chris Muntz.
Yes. Well, I said, all right, get all the troops ready. Win, lose or draw, we'll have a big dinner, because we knew that'd be the end of his prep. So we did. And we did. And we did. And Chris let down great. It's like he needed a drink. So we had a few bottles and it was a lot of fun, and all the whole crew were there. It was a lot, but the jockey had to go out that night.
Yep.
So we poured a couple in quick, and he just flew out the night before us, as it turned out. Well, anyway, we're just drinking along and having fun, and Chrissy just said, "What do you do now?" I said, "I've only got Grafton Cup and the Coffs Harbour Cup, but normally I go to England this time of year." And he said, "I've never been to England." Yeah. I said, "Haven't you?" He said, "No, never been." I said, "Never been?" I said, "No, I've been to Ireland." I went, "We'll fix that up." So I got on the phone, rang my PA of 28 years, who's been through a lot with me, if you can imagine. get us a couple of first-class tickets, sweetheart, will you? You're drunk. I said, real drunk. I said, and I said, anyway, she moved mountains, and 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, the phone's ringing, everything was sweet. And Chrissy had a bit of a fall off a bike or something in the morning, the next morning or something. He broke his tooth and took a bit of bark off his face, and he rang in and said, I don't think I can go looking like this. So Kath got him running around Brisbane and got his tooth fixed.
Yep.
He come in like he just had, 10 rounds at the bourbon and beefsteak, Anyway, we got on the plane and flew over and turned left, and I said, once you turn left, you never turn right again, Muncie, Anyway, that's another story. So we got there, and then I had to get him kitted out. And there's a big menswear hire joint over there called Moss Brothers. They're gangsters. That's another story. And I thought, we got there late on the Monday. I thought, I hope they're still open. And I had some bad experiences with them. They can't get things off the shelf, blah, blah. Anyway, we got him fitted. Anyway, he was like a glove. And a couple of funny things happened. I won't divulge that to you, but on the way to the forum, as they say.
Yeah.
But anyway, the funny, he got decked up, and Neil Werritz, he looks after me every year, and Colin Madden, my racing partners in the Everest, and they've slipped right in over there because of black caviar and et cetera, et cetera. And so in we go. I said, but I tell you what, we get to the gate, you've got to go for it first. He said, why? I said, because I'm not walking there with you because we'll look like Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger in that movie. And he looks up, yeah, you're probably right. So we were darting, we kept darting, so he was in front of me like he got a bit more pace on me. But anyway, it was good fun. I think he absolutely loved it. He saw things, he just stayed outside, just watched every race and looking at the times and all the rest of it. So, and that was a great day. And then we poked around, and we didn't do any of the studs. We didn't really have much time. And then it was just good fun. So we got there Monday night and left Thursday.
So that trip all come about at around 11, 12 o'clock?
About 6 bottles of French, yeah. So to speak.
Kath
was at the end. My girls, I said, you right? Yeah, you're right. In case, what? Yeah, okay. Corey, you right? Yeah, I'm right. So off you went.
Gee, that PA must be good of yours.
She's you move mountains, old Angela Barbados. She's a ripper. Yeah, she's been, as I said, 28 years. She's the best.
So that was sort of what happened. But immediately when you get to England, no doubt the phone starts ringing about trying to do stud deals.
I had a couple of messages, yeah, but it's interesting after that race on because Tuesday's the feature race, and then they had the other one on Saturday apparently, which I've never been to. The car park's good full of Aussies, and you got the tents up and you see the flags, and so they're all in there, which was a good tap on the shoulder. A few more comments came. What do you think? Don't forget me. That kind of stuff. So I reckon I've had 11 or 12 inquiries.
Yeah.
And I'd say 4 or 5 are all strong. And there's certain blokes in this environment chasing me, driving me yarra. And I just said, mate, wait. So all I want to do is get him back, get him racing. We'll have a look. He'll be 3-year-old obviously next month, and see how we go.
At 100%, you call the shot.
Isn't that a nice change?
Yeah.
That's a bloody nice change. And that's a nice, if I do a deal, if the right stud, feels good about, sell down 50% maybe, and I've got 30 mares or something, and I won't get 30 services, but just do a few deals like that, and right into the sunset on annuity,
As you and Chris have said, sort of during the campaign, but in reflection after, no one really knows what his distance ceiling is. He's won at 1,000, he's won at 12, 14, 16, he might run 2,000, he might be a brilliant sprinter over 1,200. Immediately, a 3-year-old Magic Millions Guineas, which he's eligible for, across the road could be a race, but he could be in an Everest and in a Cox Plate as well. Who knows?
It's all up in the air, Mitch, and that's exactly how we've gone through. And I say, if we go back to conversations constantly, we don't know what his distance is, and that's a problem. Martin thinks he could run 2,000 metres. Then we get over there, Muncie goes, we could win this. Look at these times, these 1,200 metre, we'll lead him over here. I went, that's another story, getting him over the old dart. But of course, as you know, I've got a slot in the Everest, and that's next year, 3-year-old or 4-year-old then, and you don't know what to expect. It's just fantastic, mate. That's all I'll say. Just as long as he comes back well, which I'm sure he will, and then work out these distances. But as I said, we'll probably even leapfrog Sydney and just get to Melbourne, just go after good group races and ones and black types at least. I might have a look at Archie for this bloke, the Sunlight. I went in last year, and numbers weren't that flash, but Cassandra's been fantastic. She's given me a bit more time to see how we go, don't want to do Jerry any favours, make the joint look good, you know what I mean?
We're not saying it's an exclusive, but potentially Cool Archie might be in the sunlight.
Could be. There you go. All for you.
Yeah.
Mitch, happy to divulge that. No, I'm thinking because I like the concept. I love the slot type races. You know, we just won the Archer up in Rockhampton the other day, which is good, with lubrication, Matty Dunn's horse. And I like the slot concept, you know.
Yeah, I've spoken to you about it before. You've got horses, you know, in Wagga and Canberra.
28 trainers, I'm all over the joint, yeah. So that's obviously moving up here 2 or 3 years ago. So I'd always had horses up here, and I'll probably obviously keep growing with Chris. I've got 5 over here with Paulie Shaler. I've got a horse with Toby. You know, a couple of there's good trainers up here. Don't you worry about that. Good horsemen, you know. And I'm encouraging a lot of my blokes. And your money's starting to finally get up there, you know. And pop over, come back up over the border, do a Cabernet, do the many miles, you know.
You've been at the Gold Coast now for a few years?
It's 3 years, October this coming. Mate.
Loving the lifestyle?
Never had one bad day, mate, seriously. Give or take a few cyclones and tremendous weather. It's like nothing like it. I've never seen anything like it. I've been in Hong Kong. I've been here for 2.5 years, and it's been
unbelievable.
A bit squishy underfoot, isn't it? Bloody hell. No, but I wish this joint all the best. This should be what it's going to be. I think fantastic venue, you know. Not just at the Friday night concert, but I just love it. It's as a centre, and just the lifestyle up here is all about. It's relaxed.
Yep.
I don't know how footballers actually can even run last up here because they get off the plane. You go, bloody, you know you're in surface, don't you? It's a bit different you go further up, but no, I love it, and I think it's got everything working for it, and the lights now, and I think it's going to be a bloody great spot.
So Lead Me On will be your tip for the weekend?
Yeah, that'll do us.
And follow Briasa all through the Everest campaign.
I would think so, mate, all being well.
Don't forget, Spring Carnival tickets are on sale, gctc.com.au. We've got a strong 8-race program here on Saturday to coincide with the Caloundra Cup and Rockhampton Cup, so good luck to our 2 tab partners with their 2 big race meetings on Saturday. Fine weather for the forecast, some big fields, should be back to a soft track. Looking forward to that action on Saturday, but Max, thank you so much. Been a great chat, great insight into Cool Archie, your business, your membership here at the Gold Coast Turf Club. Been brilliant.
My pleasure, mate, and good luck to the club and good luck to everybody. Thank you.
Max Whitby joining us on In the Box Seat.